Nvidia, give me an RTX 5090 and my life is yours. Yeah. And maybe my firstborn child. Alright. Hey, how you guys doing? My name is Hero. This is Coding with Strangers, and I want a 5090. Yes, indeedy. Everyone stop what you're doing. Hide your kids, hide your wife. The RTX 50 series is finally out. We got rumors of this in 2024, which was last week. Don't think it's too long ago. And now at CES, they have released what some can say is even a spec, and dare I say speculation of what this is capable to do. While there was a lot of buzzwords in this view, and I'll post the whole entire video. You can watch it. It's like 15 to 17 minutes in the whole entire thing. While I could talk about what was said in there, I think I want to discuss more of the hype, because you gotta be excited for everything that this thing is capable of doing, but also a little bit concerned with how it's gonna manage the power output on this. Like, we're talking about the 4090 recommendation for 700 watts, and now it's going all the way up to 1,000. God, if you only have two fans on that, I can't wait to see if you could cook an egg on the backside of your CPU case. But ultimately, we won't know what this thing is truly capable of doing until we can get our hands on it and see benchmarks for it. And to my knowledge, at this point, no one has those benchmarks. But the CEO was able to talk very lofty, Jensen, about what its capabilities are doing at one point saying that with 2 pixels, the AI algorithm can conflate and create another 2 billion dependent of those two, which I want to call cap. You want to call cap. It's very easy to say that, yo, stop the cap. But before we call cap, we can always check the receipts of the 4090, the 40 series. And I want to start there so we can appreciate where the 5090 truly is, because I don't think people truly understand how incredible it is that you'll have the power of a 4090 and an updated model with better parts and components for a fraction of the price of $500. They are so willing to give you the experience of 2 years ago. They marked it down at a price where scalpers today have it going for $4,000 in some places. And this is no joke. I was prepared to buy one of those. So just know it's real out here. It is super real out here. And if people are willing to pay 4K, 3K for it, the fact that they were, I say, merciful enough to give us just under 2,000 before taxes, diabolical. The original announcement day was October 2022, powered by the new ultra efficient Nvidia AD Loveless 3D generation RTX architecture. GeForce RTX 40 series graphic cards are beyond fast, giving gamers and creators quantum leaps in performance and AI powered. So AI was in heavy rotation. I was concerned about the AI talk in this conversation, but then I remembered the 40 series came out in 2022. So they were talking about AI back then. And relative to what AI could do, we didn't really see it. And it kind of got swept under the rug. And that's sort of the belief that I have for this card. It might be at the forefront of the mind and conversation, but it is not what drives this. There is concern about that middle series one, I think the 580, that has like 12 gigabytes, and it's just like, what is that? 12 gigabytes? What are we doing? Graphics and more immersive game experience and fastest content creation workflow. It works for what it does. It works for what it does, right? But I think the thing that we really can appreciate about the 4090 series is just the workhorse that it was. With the new GeForce RTX 4090, GeForce RTX 4080, your system will have the power to render fully simulated full ray tracing worlds at the highest resolution with incredible levels of details and unbelievable performance. Portable with RTX Nvidia Racer RTX Cyber 2077. A new ray tracing override mode launches soon, demonstrating the incredible experience developers can now deliver with the GeForce RTX 40 series graphic card. And even though, for what it's worth, a fully optimized system, the gaming world quality has to very much catch up with the true ability to fully optimize everything that these systems can do. There's no qualm about that, right? We're not going to see.
I want to show you something amazing. Racer X is a fully interactive simulation.
This current graphical setting, while impressive, you only see this in cinematics. This wasn't gameplay footage. I think maybe some of the older systems probably push this. I think back to the the Watch Dogs release trailer that they used, specifically used Nvidia's graphic cards back then to make that look super impressive. But we're not expecting, I don't even think the 5090 could emulate this in gameplay range. And that's just because of just how complex it is to keep these games optimized. And they're originally made for consoles first. Consoles have to get way better in order for games to become more optimized.
Built with NVIDIA Omniverse, Racer X is physically simulated. The lighting, reflections, and refractions are ray traced. Nothing is pre-rendered and baked in. The parts and joints of the cars are individually modeled. Their physical properties affect driving dynamics. Things in the environment are not static props, but rigid body, cloth, and fluid simulations. Smoke, fire, and dust are volumetric simulations. Racer X is a simulation. Future games will not have pre-baked worlds. Future games will be simulations. Racer X is running on one single GPU.
Hey bro, I think I'm gonna head on in for the night. I'm kinda tired. No problem. Get some rest. Hey, didn't you work today? 12-hour shift. And you went to the gym? PR to 700 deadlift. And you still got energy to do all this work? Where does the energy come from, bro? I'm at my best when I have my zest, baby. Get zest? The Zest Super Berry Samba Green Tea comes packed with 135 milligrams of caffeine and L-theanine. That's how I stay focused for longer and stronger throughout the day with no crash. It's way better than coffee or any of those sugar-filled energy drinks out there. No GMO, gluten-free, and it won't stain your teeth. Oh yeah, that sounds real good. Is this one, right? Yes, sir, that's the one. But my brother in Zest, I'm gonna need you to get your own Super Berry Samba Green Tea. Selfish. You mad, bro? Don't worry, I got you. Use my promotional code down below to get 20% off selected items and the subscriptions. That's Coding with Strangers, all one word. Put that in the checkout box and you'll be good to go. Thank you so much to Zest for the sponsorship. Just from that showcasing, it's clearly up to snuff. But this was all made pre-rendered. This was all made in the background. This was designed to be shown off. The real question is, when this dropped, was the hype of this trailer, which is 18 minutes, it was a great showing. I watched the whole thing. But was the hype of this trailer, does it live up to the expectation of what people thought? And what better place to congregate a host of people's ideas and feelings on a host of things other than Reddit. Clap it up for Reddit. A beloved gem destroyed by modern day AI. So what's the general consensus on Nvidia a year after it came out? A lot of the comments have people who have financial constraints, and that they speak highly about it, but they speak more about the constraints of the secondary market. All overpriced, no point in getting anything below a 4080, but the 4080 and 4090 are too costly anyway. The 4090 is undisputed champ, but the cost is just insane. Though the cost to value is horrible, but the 4090 is a great card. Agree that it's undisputed champ, but only agree on the cost to value ratio. If one expects a linear relationship between price and performance, I don't think that is a fair expectation of the GPU or CPU pricing. So that's a great comparison. For the price that people would be scalping this at, which was like $3,000, but back then it was $1,800. People felt like that correlation wasn't significant enough. They needed something way more, something to flatten that curve, whether it was increased in performance or an increase in decrease in price. The 800 series and the 500 series, they are slated to release in 2024. It is cheaper to buy the mid-grade each cycle than to buy the top of the line, 1600, 2000, when you know it will be outperformed, but not a guarantee. But it's eventually inevitable. And that's the thing that I think would give people like me pause. But Nvidia has proven, and they're a company, they're allowed to mess up and do it for profit. Nvidia has proven over the years, with their trial and error, that they can figure this out. And when in that video, they talked heavily about all the ways that they wanted to make these things stronger, better, and whatnot. And they did that. It outperformed it. No question asked. By no comparison, right? Outperformed it. The current card gives a similar performance for $100 to $200 less. I was about to get the 4070, but decided to go with the upcoming 780 myself. And there are things that you could compare to it, but from the benchmark perspective, there really wasn't any way you could even compare. Like, just comparing it to itself, it just outperformed itself. And when you're the leading, and this is the thing that really makes it sort of interesting to have conversations about like AI models, when there's nobody has made an AI model that is significantly leaps and bounds better than any of the ones perceived to it. But when you are already the breadwinner, and then you go leaps and bounds above yourself, when you set a new bar as the bar setter, you get to drink at the bar all night and nobody can say nothing to you. So we have that in our pocket, right? The past has proven itself to be worthy of the future demands, but Nvidia is not unaware of the demand, and the demand coming from multiple places such as gaming, productivity, GPUs for AI, and a host of other computing data that is going to need to be relatively contained and least cost effective and most optimized. They're not oblivious to this, and this time around I think they've made it their mission to see to it that people can afford this on day one. And let's see what all the hype's all about. Nvidia is officially announcing its RTX 50 series GPU today after months of leaks and rumors. The next generation RTX Blackwell GPU are now officially, and therefore GPUs are now official, and there are 4 of them on the way. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang revealed the RTX 50 series GPU during the CES keynote that evening announcing the 1999 RTX 5090, the $999 RTX 5080, and the $749 RTX 5070 Ti. And finally, the $549 RTX 5070 Nvidia, 5070 Nvidia, new RTX 5090 and RTX 5080 GPU will both be available on January 30th, with the RTX 50 Ti and RTX 5070 to follow in February. So the big dogs are coming out first, and they're coming out strong. And they already have some frame rate data already. Oh, Nvidia posted their own frame rate. Oh, I didn't see this. Oh my goodness. And you could tell this on a shitty like YouTube screen. The 4090 is not bad. If you saw the 4090, you would be more than satisfied. But if you knew the 5090 existed, wouldn't you want it? If you knew the 5090 never drops under 200, does the 4090 drop under 100? I only got to 100, so it's pretty significant. It's pretty significant, and it got all the way up to like 24. So like it could drop a range of 24 frames at any given second. I have a 4090, and I'm sitting here drooling already, throwing up some contract work to justify it. I'm right there with you. Like, this is gonna be my first build, so I have no choice. But I go big or go home, right? Nvidia demonstrated a Cyberpunk 2077 running on an RTX 5090 with a DLSS 4 at 238 frames per second compared to the 106 frames on the RTX 4090 DLSS 3.5. It's the graphical. Oh, and they got the scopes with it, so the 4090 over it. Oh no. So the 5090s in green, RTX 4090s in right, Alan Wake, Far Cry. So the game that I would be most interested in is probably Black Myth Wukong, because it's going to take place in sort of an Ubisoft setting, and it's the textures that the amalgamation of textures that will be on the screen for a lot of the games and the performance. This is super important for what we want to get into, right? And then this is going to be the 58 performance, relative performance, Far Cry. And then even with this relative, it still outperforms in every aspect of it. Now, there is something that I do want to bring to attention with it, is the standardization of the 4090. Optimization is going to trump raw power any day of the week. What do I mean by this? The more optimized your games are, you see how these levels are always within range of themselves, while there's more significant peaking in different forms. Cyberpunk has gone through a plethora of revamps, where I believe a lot of that revamp was built with the intention of better GPUs. Alan Wake is a remake, so you should expect that. Black Myth Wukong, best game of the year. Sony works very closely with Nvidia products. A lot of their test demos, like we said with Watch Dogs, runs off of those systems. But optimization is key in seeing the true potential of your devices. The software needs to be able to utilize the hardware. The one thing that is a tad bit concerning is the cooling aspect of this GPU. There's only 2 fans on this thing, and I thought that was a little sus. I was totally against the whole liquid cooling thing, because why would you put liquid in electronics? But I also don't want it to sound like I'm turning on a fighter jet every time I decide to go max settings on my computer. So these are things I had to take into consideration. And I'll continue to seek information. I got the 90 to 120 frames at 4K on Cyberpunk with the RTX enabled, with the 2040 hertz monitor out there now. That's 590 is just touching what we need for consistent 240 frames in 4K gaming. It's going to, but the question is, will it be enough to maintain that illusion? And that's where they say the AI aspect of this comes in, and I'm not completely sold on it. I'm not really. The AI aspect of the conversation, I'm not even going to lie, my brain went dead. DLSS 4 also includes a real-time application for transformers to improve image quality and reduce ghosting, and add higher details in motion. The DLSS 4 upgrade will even work on existing RTX GPUs, so you can use older models to run this through. That's another thing. Like, is the one thing hopefully, yeah, I'm assuming the chips will be built in to handle, but I wonder which older chips can pull out the most in the GPU. If there's even a through line to that, I'm not even sure if those two things cross well, but chips are made with the intention of being cross-platform, and we know some CPU chips have their GPUs built into them, so we know they have some delegation of work to do with each other. You can read more about the DLSS 4 right here. The Nvidia RTX 50 series announcement comes more than 2 years after the 4090 and the 4080 were announced. Based on Nvidia's AD Loveless architecture, Nvidia RTX 40 series GPU focused on improving ray tracing and deep learning. Super sampling version 3 RTX 4090 to deliver some truly impressive performance gains over the previous RTX 3090. So I don't think that this is going to be a hard thing to prove for them. I'm sold. I'm so sold that I'm convinced that today is the 7th of January. By the end of January, we need to have had a tested prototype of our bot. We're going to create a bot that is going to beat the scalpers at scalping, and we're not going to do this because we want to buy 150 90s. We're going to do this because we want to buy one, but we don't want to deal with the scalpers. We don't want to deal with the secondhand market, and because we need to then, from the point of the 30th, I have 2 contracts out with EA and Ubisoft, and I need to build a system. I need to build a system where, como se dice, I need to build a system. I need to build an actual computer system with the 5090 in it, with the CPU and all of those things. So the 2 CPU chips that I was looking at, they're sold out and won't restock till March. So I'm already in hot water. So I need to find the most compatible, durable chip in the country and get it to me in due time. So I'm gonna need your help, strangers. Yes, that's you. What can you do for a stranger? I need you to like, I need you to share, I need you to subscribe. I need you to send this to Jensen Huang and tell him I will give him a stranger and my life if he gives me a 5090. Or any sponsor out there. I'm a comical cool guy. You saw how I sold my Zest. This could be us, baby. This could be us. Appreciate y'all. I'll see you on the other side.